You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. LSU landed a commitment from four-star safety Ryan Yaites on Friday. He committed, becoming the fourth member of the 2023 class. Had offers from dang near everybody. More than 20 colleges were on his offer list. He is the number 7 safety prospect in the country, the number 128 overall prospect in America. So it's another big get for Brian Kelly's squad. It is the second safety this week. Michael Daugherty committed earlier this week to LSU for the class of 2023. So you go now with back-to-back out-of-state prospects when you got Daugherty out of Georgia, and now you get Yaites out of Texas. He's out of Denton, Texas. So a couple of things when I look at this commitment and really the classes is coming together. That's 2 safeties. I'm curious how many safeties LSU is going to want to go in this class, because that's a position where I look and I say, man, you are deep there this year. If I had to pick 2 positions on the defense this year where LSU is deep, it's defensive line and safety. Major Burns, Jay Ward, Joe Fouché, Gregory Brooks, Sage Ryan, Matthew Langlois, Derek Davis, Jordan Tolles. You have 8 safeties. You have 8 safeties on the roster right now. Now, the flip side of that is there's a very real chance you could lose Fouché, Brooks, Burns, Ward all this year. There's always the possibility that a player could transfer. So those 4, if you lose them, that's half of your safety depth right now. So, yeah, you always have to consider the possibility of early entries to the draft and transfers. I mean, you almost can't even consider the current depth on your roster because you know it's going to change year to year. Now, what's also interesting is numbers. That is 4 commits now for LSU for the class of 2023. But the really interesting thing about LSU and about this year is, remember, because of COVID, teams were allowed to sign 7 over their initial 25 in a 1-for-1 transfer. Well, the NCAA hasn't said if that's going to continue. So Brian Polian, the special teams coordinator, talked about they're not sure what their recruiting numbers are going to be.
What the class will end up being is going to be dictated by the NCAA. Are we going to be back to 25 initials? Are we going to be at 32 like we were last year, which it feels like there might be a little bit of movement towards that? Or ultimately, will the NCAA say, listen, take as many initials as you need, just be at 85 on August the 1st? We're waiting for that direction from the NCAA because we're prepared in all 3 scenarios. It's unlikely if the number was back to 25 initials, there are going to be schools like us and a whole lot of others that are going to look at that and say, boy, can I get back to the full 85 if I'm only allowed 25 initials in the landscape of the portal and the transition that we went through?
Remember, it's so important to note, you had 39 players eligible for the bowl game. If you only have 25, and realistically, because some guys were injured to stay on the roster, you were around 50. 25 only gets you into the mid-70s. You're not close to 85. You needed to oversign this year. You needed 32. So I don't know that the NCAA can completely go back to the initial 25, and that's it. They may make their way there eventually, but I don't know that this year that's going to be possible. There are some schools that are in a better position. There's more stable programs. But in the era of the portal, it feels like this has got to stay at least for a full cycle. This has got to, COVID, portal, all of that, this rule of allowing to oversign has got to stay for at least 4 years so you can make your rosters back up. It's just a transformative time in college football, and there isn't a really easy cookie-cutter answer to go back to the way things were. But in the meantime, another big get. That's number 4 for LSU for the class of 2023 as Brian Kelly and the squad's roll and try to see if they can get some more on the boat as they head toward the summer. Remember, just one player from Louisiana, Omarion Miller, the wide receiver out of Vivian, Louisiana, is the only in-state prospect so far. You know that number is going to continue to grow as they move through this class. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.